Hi, my name's Tony. Welcome to the 16-minute channel. Let's go straight out on the street and see what's happening. My name's Tony, and so was his in the studio. Right, as you can tell, maybe you can't. As you can tell, I'm in Asia. Which part of Asia? I'm in China. Which part of China, you may ask? Okay, it's mainland China, and I'm in a city called Jiaoqing. Jiaoqing is about 100 miles, from Guangdong. Guangdong is about 2 hours, 1 hour using the fast train from Hong Kong. Anyway, so here I am. What's the purpose of this video? Let me tell you. Well, first of all, I'm wearing the mask, as you can see. Two reasons. One, to protect myself. Two, because to some people I may be ugly. So it's for your benefit that you can't see my mush. Bugger that, I'm going to take it off. There we go, handsome for some. Anyway, the reason I can take it off, today is the 8th of June 2020, and today all the schools have allowed the children to go back. Most people are not wearing the mask. Some are because they're ugly. Some are because they still want to take that extra protection. It's their choice. Anyway, so the mask ban has been lifted and it feels quite good, except for public transport and in some local shops. The temperature is still being taken by the palm of the hand, not the forehead, in some shops, particularly at weekends. So today is theoretically a great day to get that thing off your face. Wow, nice feeling. Right, let me tell you a little about myself. Just a little. I returned back to China from the UK on the 2nd of March this year. I flew from Heathrow to Hong Kong. Normally, I would go to Guangdong. I flew to Hong Kong on the, well, my family was not necessarily in agreement with me. They feared I was flying back into the virus. Well, I knew I was flying back into a safe zone as the UK was becoming, not at that time, I knew it would be a particularly dangerous place to stay. Only because the way we English think. Oh, I'll be alright, Jack. I won't get the virus. And then suddenly you become the second, or maybe the highest number of deaths in the whole of Europe. Yeah, that was simply because us Brits are like that. Anyway, so I turned around and came back to China, and China was, and still is, in retrospect of the virus, the safest place to be on the planet. The reason for that? The government says wear a mask, take precautions, stay at home, and the people listen. They always know that the government has always got the interest of the country and the people in mind, unlike many Western countries. So, there we go, not much else to say about the virus. I'm trying to cross this main road at the moment, excuse me. Right, this guy's letting me. After 14 years of being in China, crossing the road is still a risky thing, but when you get used to the system, it's really not that bad. So, what to talk about? Well, first of all, because of the virus, like millions of other people, I was laid off work. I'm actually a teacher in China for 13 years, and no teaching has been taking place for nearly 5 months now. So I was laid off work, 5 months without an income. That was painful, and it still is, because if I start back to work tomorrow, I still got to wait another month before I get any money. So 5 months without an income, and there's no benefits coming my way, like a lot of British and American, or a lot of Western countries are demanding from their governments.
I'm out of work, I want money, give me money, I'll pay you back.
Yeah. It does surprise me how most Westerners do not put money to one side and save. It's your choice. I know you want to save a little bit for a rainy day, but 4 weeks of saving, that's pretty useless. Anyway, your choice what you do with your money. If you want to spend it on toys and 3 cars and rubbish around the house. Oh, it's not rubbish. Oh, it's for my kids. Yeah, okay, save it for Christmas. Don't spend money all year round. Anyway, there's my rant and rage on that one. So, what am I doing on YouTube? Well, let's go back. When I flew back to Hong Kong, first of all, I was at the airport for several hours waiting for transport to get out, and I met a guy called Lee from Manchester, a Chinese guy, and he was a professional snooker player from Manchester, and he was going to Macau. I believe Macau is where the company that sponsors him to be a professional snooker player. Anyway, nice chap. Sorry Lee if I forget your surname. I will check you out on YouTube later if you're there. Anyway, so I went from there to called a taxi to Shenzhen border and got through. That was on the 2nd of March this year. Once I got through, I could not get a coach or a taxi or anything out of Shenzhen. I was stuck because of the time of day. I searched frantically for a hotel, found many, but soon discovered that I was not going to get a hotel that night. Is it because of the colour of my skin? Not particularly. Is it because I'm not Chinese? Yes. Did I feel like it was a racist slur on me? No. Did I feel uncomfortable? No. Chinese at that time had a very, very lack of confidence with Westerners. And why not? Because Westerners at that time were still taking the whole situation very, very lightly when it was very, very serious. So that night I had to stay on the streets and basically just drink Red Bull and Dove dark chocolate. So that's what I did, and the following day I got a coach here to Zhaoqing. Now I've lived in Zhaoqing for several years. I've lived in China for a long time, and I was on lockdown. We all know what lockdown is now. Most of us have experienced it. And during that lockdown, I could only go out occasionally to get my milk and water and some food items, and then back to the apartment. People were afraid of me, seriously afraid of me. Guilo, Laowai, white man, foreigner, and I just simply had to stay indoors. I want to walk that way, but there's loads of bikes and people, so I'm not. And I haven't got a microphone extension, so I'm having to shout to make sure that my microphone will pick me up. So, got back to Zhaoqing, went into isolation. I've been in unemployed now for almost 5 months, and during that period of time, the first couple of months I had no internet. Now you can imagine how frustrating that is. All I had was my own TV, which only receives Chinese channels. So I found that particularly frustrating, but just had to get on with life. So I did lots of exercises in the living room, a bit of painting here and there, and killed time. Eventually I got a VPN. I've never had a VPN before, and I've certainly never had access to YouTube or even Google in the 13 years I've been in China. So once I got that, I was really quite content to be in lockdown. I spent days and nights and weeks just watching YouTube channels and discovering things that I'd never discovered before. It was really interesting. The 12 Things of Life by Jordan Peterson, very, very interesting man. I watched loads of his. I watched the 60-minute channel, I watched NBC, Fox, I watched the bad publicities coming in on the internet, and I watched a lot of boxing. I just found the whole channel, a YouTube channel, very, very interesting. Anyway, so at some point I had to decide, hi there, hi. At some point I had to decide what my future was going to be. Now, if I don't go back into teaching, although the schools have gone back, they are not requesting foreign teachers to start yet. So at some point I need an income, and I need a visa. As a teacher, you get a foreign expert certificate and a Z visa to go with it, which I've been using for this period of time. Now, if I don't get that foreign expert certificate, I cannot renew my visa, which runs out in September. So in just 13 weeks away, my visa expires, and I may have to go back to the UK. There's a little hope that I will, in fact there's a big hope that I can find some kind of employment and obtain a visa to stay here. Why would I want to stay here? Well, because I like it a lot. Why do I like it? I don't think it's worth saying why I like China in a 15-minute video. It can't justify all the good things about China in such a short period of time. Point to note, some of the things I saw on YouTube were about foreigners who live in China and had YouTube channels. It's not difficult to find who they are. If you're out there, just search a few names and you'll find them. One friend of mine by the name of Lee has got a channel called Barrett. Lee and Ollie, his son, are living and working down in Shenzhen, and they've done exceedingly well. I certainly don't expect to do as well as them. My computer skills are zilch, and I'm teaching myself by tutorials off of the YouTube channel. So thank you very much to all those people who have spent time putting out some kind of information or lessons on their YouTube channels of how to do things, whether it's setting up green screen or whether it's setting up some kind of link or some sites or whatever. I'm very grateful. You've taught me a lot. Now it's time for me to put what I've learned into action and try to get my own YouTube channel started. Well, I've called my YouTube channel 16 Minutes. I'll tell you why very quickly. Because Andy Warhol once said, the late painter, artist, interesting guy, everyone will get 15 minutes of fame in their life. So I took the idea from there and had 1 minute for the introduction and conclusion at the end and called it 16 Minutes. There's also a program called 60 Minutes, which talks about things and really doesn't make any firm decision, but they just talk for 60 minutes. And I find that quite boring, to be honest, because they just talk, make no conclusion. Let you decide. Hi, this is 60 Minutes. Welcome. I'm going to tell you a sad story because I want it to be sad. Anyway, whatever. Facts. It's like me saying, hey, there's a lake behind me. That's wet. Some people think it's deep. Let's ask them. That's kind of like 60 Minutes. So I just want to talk to you about things in China. I've put some videos together already. I haven't edited them, but I hope you find them interesting. As time goes on, I'll upload those if my uploading skills are working, and I can condense them into 16 minutes. Shit, I've got 20 seconds to go. So, without further ado, I shall hand you back to the studio. That's me, Tony. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tony. So, if you like what you saw, please give me the thumbs up, and don't forget, subscribe to my channel. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care out there. Bye-bye.